For God's sake, a pot of small ale.
Well, please, your lordship, drink a cup of sack.
Well, please, your honor, taste of these conserves.
What raiment shall thy honor wear today?
I am Christopher of Sly. Call not me honor nor lordship. I ne'er drank sack in my life. And if you give me any conserves, give me conserves of beef. Ne'er ask me what raiment I'll wear. For I have no more doublets than backs, no more stockings than legs, nor no more shoes than feet. Nay, sometimes more feet than shoes, or such shoes as my toes look through the overleather.
Heaven seeks the idle humor in your honor. Oh, that a mighty man of such descent, of such possessions and so high esteem, should be infused with such a foul spirit.
What, would you make me mad? Am not I Christopher Sly, old Sly's son of Burton Heath, by birth a peddler, by education a card maker, by transmutation a bear herd, and now by present profession a tinker? Ask Marion Hackett, the fat alewife of Wincott. If she know me not, if she say that I am not 14 pence on the score for sheer ale, score me up for the Linus knave and crimson. What? I am not distraught. Here's...
Oh, this it is that makes her a lady born.
Oh, this is that makes her servants true.
Hence comes is that your kindred shuns your house, as beaten hence by your stranger's leniency. A noble lord, who think good eye of thy birth, call home thy ancient thoughts from banishment, and banishes hence these abject lowly dreams. Look how thy servants do attend on thee, each in this office ready at thy beck. Wilt thou ever have music? Hark, a polar place. A 20-caged nightingale do sing, or wilt thou sleep? We'll have thee to a couch softer and sweeter than the lustful bed, on purpose trimmed up for Semiramis. Say thou wilt walk, we will bestrew the ground, or wilt thou ride? Thy horses shall be strapped, their harness studded with all the gold and pearl. Dost thou love hawking? Thou hast hawks will soar, above the morning lack, or wilt thou hunt? Thy hounds shall make the welkin answer them, and fetch shrill echoes from the hollow earth.
Say thou wilt, of course. The greyhounds are as swift fast, I thicker than the law.
Dost thou love pictures? We will fetch these straight Adonis painted by a running brook, and Cytherea all in sedges hid, which seem to move in wanton with the breath, even as the waving sedges play with wind.
We'll show thee Io as she was a maid, and how she was beguiled and surprised, as lively painted as the deed was done.
Or Daphne, roaming through the thorny wood, scratching her legs, that one shall swear she bleeds, and that sight shall sad Apollo weep. So workmanly the blood and tears are drawn.
Thou art a lord, and nothing but a lord. Thou hast a lady form far more beautiful than any woman in this waning age.
And though the tears she hath shed for thee, like envious floods o'er one her lovely face, she was the fairest creature in the world, and yet she is inferior to none.
Am I a lord, and have I such a lady, or do I dream, or have I dreamt till now? I do not sleep, I see, I hear, I speak, I smell sweet savors, and I feel soft things. Upon my life, I am a lord indeed, and not a tinker, nor Christopher Sly. Well, bring our lady to hither to our sight, and once again, a pot of the smallest ale.
Will please your mightiness to wash your hands. Oh, how we joy to see your wit restored. Oh, that once more you knew, but what you are. These 15 years you have been in a dream, or when you waked, so waked as if you slept.
These 15 years, by my faith, a goodly nap. But did I never speak of all that time?
Oh yes, my lord, but very idle was, for though you lay here in this goodly chamber, yet would you say they were beaten out door, and rail upon the hostess of the house?
Hey you guys, we're the cast and crew from the production Taming and the Shrew that you just saw, and we're here to analyze and talk about our wonderful performance.
So true. Their wonderful performance.
Their wonderful performance. So, Sam,
Oh,
what would you say? So the overview of the story.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, it's this guy named Sly. He's a bum off the street, really, really drunk. Sam, everyone, give it up for Sam.
Really?
He did a great job.
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
The actor that played Sly, he was a god. He was probably one of the best actors I've ever seen.
So basically, Sly, really drunk guy off the street, and he wakes up and he's surrounded by a lord and his servants. And
Right.
and they're trying to convince him that he is some rich and super wealthy king.
You're right. You are so right. And the Sly doesn't really buy any of what they're talking about. He's like, no, I'm Christopher Sly. I asked this lady, I'm this person. And then all of a sudden, no, you have the most magnificent wife, and you have the most beautiful wife in the land.
And he's like, oh, alright, I'm
Once
going
the wife is brought in, he automatically believes it.
Goes on with the bandwagon or whatever you say, but he joins their gimmick and he believes it, and that's the first part when he actually starts believing. Yeah, well, I have this wife. Well,
I'm this awesome rich guy.
I'm this awesome rich guy. I'm the Lord.
I mean, I think the induction is like set because it's trying to like Shakespeare's trying to like make it kind of a comedy, like it's kind of funny, but
I mean, like in a sense, the reason why Lord says this game, this whole entire he set the whole entire scene. There's really not really a good reason why he actually did it in the first place. He's kind of more like, oh yeah, I'm bored. I'm going to do it because it's fun, and I want to make people laugh.
It's hard if you the kind of point of the induction, I guess, is to set up in a way the play because it's pretty established. But let's just say, what happens is the servants, to entertain the said royal king that they convince that he was like super rich and famous, they make a play for him, and the rest of the Taming of the Shrew, except for one part where it's like kind of like they break it up and bring back this scenario. It's like, yeah, we're gonna put on a play for a royal king, and then that's the rest of the play.
So the viewers are technically viewing a play within a play.
I mean, I also think that the purpose of the induction is to set the mood and like introduce like the roles that the characters played, like the roles of women, and how like you can see Christopher Sly just wanting like the only reason why he believes like the servants and the Lord is because like he was told that he had a woman, and obviously he just wants the wife for one reason that we all know.
So why is Sly decided for playing the induction?
I mean, this is something like it's a good question because I've been thinking about the same thing after reading the whole entire Taming of the Shrew. It seems apparent that Sly only shows up one other time in the whole play, and it's not even a major role. He doesn't really actually do anything important. So why is the whole entire induction focused around this one guy? It doesn't have any importance later. What do you think?
Man, so a great question.
I mean, I think it kind of like sets up the play. Like it sets up like what roles, like roles versus men and women, like what they mean, and like obviously you can tell by Sly, like he's like this drunk just man, just like obviously all he wants is like the woman, and you can tell like later in the play like almost all the men are kind of like Sly, I guess, but not to the extent.
I think the whole induction, it's like, it's mostly centered around Sly and the Lord, just because they're both like, not as much the Lord, but mostly Sly. They're just trying to convince him that he's good. I just think it's kind of to add humor into it because the servants don't even have names. Like they're just extras in the play. There's really only two people, and it's mostly focused on Sly, just because he's said person that's trying to be like played a prank on.
So I also think that it's kind of creating the mood of deception in the play, where like in the induction, these guys are fooling Sly, which was done so greatly by the Lord, played by Sophia. Oh my God, that was one of the best. I'm gonna stop for that, please. That was one of the. That's one of the best roles I've ever seen in a play. Okay, but anyway, but yeah, the deception of Sly kind of creates that mood of like deception and sneakiness that comes in later when they're disguised and when they're trying to get their wives, and when they're disguised as like Lucentio.
In the play within the play.
There's a lot of deception.
So, do you think that the message that we as like the audience as well should take from the Taming Shrew is that the idea of deception Do you think that is the real message?
It's definitely
It
a
plays a
possibility.
significant
Yeah.
role in the induction, the play and the play within the play. That's kind of like
It's definitely like one of the main points of the induction. In the
So what does this tell us about the real world? What does that mean for us? Since we've been talking a lot about today, but what about for us as humans in the current 21st century?
I think it can show us that like a lot of things in the real world can be like deception as well, and like
Yeah, like
not I don't know.
not
Like,
everything
people
is like
can,
what
like-
it
How it seems.
seems.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at something like one way, but there's like another perception that
Yeah.
can be like different.
and just what's based on the outside might not necessarily be what it actually
So it's
is.
kind of like don't judge a book by its
Yeah.
Almost.
I mean, like even like in the play when you are first introduced to Catherine and how men see her as this shrew or this beast or this devil, like they all look at her from the outside because she's the only like girl in the play who actually has an opinion and actually has something to say. But like you can see that later, like her husband Petruchio, like later sees the real Catherine and like sees what's kind of like inside of her and stuff.
And so I guess the induction, the scene 2, shows us really the brilliancy of the deception and what it can do. And then an example is given later by Catherine, Catherine and the play within the play. And then we can also take that message for us that we can know how to judge people better and how to pretty much know and understand each other better as a society. And I think that's all the time we have.
Yes. I think that is snaps and cups for the coffee shop.
Thank you. This has been the cast discussing our production of Taming of the Shrew. Thank you very much.
Induction too.
And thank you. All right.